Hey guys, me Mudahar. Ladies and gentlemen, how's it all going? I don't know why nobody's talking about this disaster. I bought a game today that had no reviews, that had no hype, no launch, no advertisements really that I've seen around. I saw it on Steam, and you might have heard of the name Mind's Eye. Now, I decided to buy this today because I wanted to kind of review it because honestly, I had a totally different video today. I had, literally sitting on my actual, system. I was going to talk about pyramids, maybe even some alien stuff like that, you know? But this took precedent because I think I went back to 2010, okay? In a game released in 2025. Now, this is a game that is made by Leslie Benzies. Now, I've only heard about this. Okay, this is like pretty build for this game. Leslie Benzies, for those who don't know, is one of the minds behind Grand Theft Auto. So with a with a pedigree like that, you might be wondering, why is this mostly negative? So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be real with you. I wouldn't make this video if it wasn't for two reasons. To get my money back in some roundabout way for buying this, and also to at least educate the audience about like a video game that is actually hard-locked to 2011. Now, I'm going to let you make the decision if you should buy this for yourself. But for anybody that doesn't know, I want to go through some history real quick, okay? So back in Gamescom, there was this thing called Everywhere, this little project. And if this looks like Fortnite and Rocket League, this is supposed to be like a big hub where you could come together and like basically create whatever game that you wanted. Now, anything that I've seen regarding Everywhere, this never, I think, really materialized. But on their stuff, and this is back in like 2023 or 2024, they were talking about this game Mind's Eye, this highly anticipated AAA story-driven action-adventure from Build a Rocket Boy. Yeah, it's actually the game studio's name. Now, there's been a fair bit of controversy around this topic as well, too. So I just want to kind of power around through it before we really get into the game. So regarding Build a Rocket Boy, for anybody that has no idea, Build a Rocket Boy was one of these companies where, as they were developing Mind's Eye, they literally had advertisements apparently out to hire for smart contract developers, the blockchain. So when I read this, I was like, hold on a minute. Please tell me this is going to be a crypto NFT game. So in their responsibilities, they will architect innovative on-chain solutions for those traditional AAA games, design, implement, and audit smart contracts to support off-chain systems, deploy and manage a multitude of fungible tokens. Now, immediately when I hear like crypto slowly getting in, I'm dying a little bit inside just talking about it, okay? Now, thankfully, according to the Mind's Eye people, back 3 years ago, they were like, yeah, we're seeing some conversation on cryptos, boys, but these are research positions, and we don't like dismissing new technologies. If we can find a way to make money on crypto without fuck it, we have to sell our soul anyways. No, they said we're building Everywhere on Unreal Engine 5, not the blockchain. We're creating a new world for players. Now, when I hear the term Unreal Engine 5, I'm already scared a little bit because I know every computer in the world is going to have issues with this game stuttering. Now, even as I'm recording this, literally, there are no critic reviews for this game because they never handed out any copies to the critics to review the game. In fact, there was a lot of miasma surrounding this whole situation. For instance, even the actual, developers, even the people behind it, apparently said that there was a concerted effort for people to trash the game. I do know there are bot farms posting negative comments and dislikes because people were a little bit worried about this game, right? Like, there wasn't really a whole lot of talk. It's like, you're going to release a game and all I'm supposed to know is Leslie Benzies is behind it? Yeah, that's, it's not good. One guy's like, a co-CEO for a studio is implying another studio is paying previewers to talk negatively about your game? Not wild when it's true. So you know what? I'm going to skip past it. I'm just going to get right into the game. It's dog shit. So, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of things about this game, and not a lot of it is good. Okay, so let's just get things started. The performance is terrible. Now, I'm running this on a 4090. Okay, mind you, I'm running it at 5120 by 1440 with everything kind of maxed out. But even then, I expect the performance to be at least over 60 frames per second, especially when I'm running the game with its DLSS and performance and generating those frames. Now, again, because it's I believe, Unreal Engine 5 game. In fact, let me fact check this real quickly. Yeah, apparently, according to the old Wikipedia, and this could be wrong, they say it's Unreal Engine 5, and it certainly feels like an Unreal Engine 5 game. I've seen some people complain that the game on consoles is locked to 30 frames per second. It crashes like a motherfucker. But for me on PC, all I've gotten is a lot of stutter. The frame rates are inconsistent, but thankfully, I haven't experienced one crash yet or the game actually breaking at any moment. In fact, I played around 2.5 hours of the game, and I'll be completely real with you, it is such a 2009 game, it's like actually not even funny. Now, when I look at the graphics to mind's eye and I look at the performance, I'm actually shocked because I've played games like Watch Dogs 2, for instance, that look better than this game. And they run at like 150 frames on my computer. I don't know why that is, okay? Maybe it's just with modern gaming and modern engines and fucking ray tracing and all this stupid shit that games look roughly the same as what they used to. They're apparently 4 times the file size. This game is thankfully 40 gigs, but the performance is just not there at all with this game. Now, the only thing good looking about this game is, I would probably say maybe the general, like, lighting on the city. The character models look really good. Like, they actually look like really lifelike character models. The performances, especially from the main character, I think it's Alex Hernandez, the guy who played the main character in Mafia 3. He does a pretty good job at this game, okay? Every other character is not that good at this game, at their performance. But the dialogue is where I think it kind of seals the deal. So I'm going to do something that I don't normally do. I'm just going to let a chunk of this game play, and I'm going to let you listen to the dialogue in this section, because it is quite dies from cringe level of dialogue.
Precise. It's not exactly helpful.
I see a gas station.
Sit tight, Marco. I'm coming.
Do you have any water?
What?
Water! I am so thirsty right now.
Kinda in the middle of something right now.
Are you paying for the gas?
We're not here to buy gas, Marco. No one buys gas anymore.
Okay, but you have the water?
Stop asking me that, okay? I'm trying to save you.
Jacob!
Oh my fuck, what?
I can't connect to the speaker.
Then make your own music. Looks like she's all packed and ready to go.
Vancouver Island? Clearly she's over this heat. Ooh, the office. Check out the desk.
What is she doing with my file and Silva's records?
Secret crush?
Obviously.
Just fucking...
There must be something incriminating in this place. Keep... No fucking way! That's a map of the trailer park, with Gil's trailer marked. Oh, this just became war.
I'm not seeing a lens case.
Find her bedroom, and you'll find the lens.
You're gonna lose this game.
They're like cattle for the slaughter on that truck. Oh, my sweet bots. No!
I wish you could see this. Looks like Burning Man here.
Probably with less techno and nudity. Although I'd be surprised to hear you've actually been to the playa.
Now, if you think that's bad, Lois, it's pretty bad all around. I think nearly every time I interact with another character in this game, it like sends me all the way back to 2010, 2011. Like just cringed. I'm gonna say it right now. I think Borderlands has more mature writing. Yes, fucking Borderlands has more mature writing than goddamn Mind's Eye. Now, if it's something you're seeing in these clips and the footage that I'm putting on screen, the actual like gameplay isn't really all that exciting, okay? The amount of immersiveness you can get into the city is actually kind of alarming. So this game is a fully linear title, pretty much. You can't even open up a map screen. So there's this big city, like Red Rock City. It's basically Las Vegas. And in fact, if you're somebody that's ever been to Vegas, I'm gonna be real with you, this is the most accurate Vegas I've seen in pretty much any video game. Like all the casinos are there. Everything is pretty much where you kind of expect it to be, except it's Red Rock City. And I believe like it was like, it used to be Vegas and then it turned into this different city when like the casinos entirely got shut down. But the game basically has like these gameplay loops. You drive from like, you know, shootout to shootout. That's pretty much it. You shoot people, you get into a car, you drive to the next place where you shoot people, okay? And then once you're done shooting people there, sometimes you drive or another NPC drives for you. And you might be shooting and driving. So that's pretty much kind of the general gameplay loop that's provided. And it's such a linear title that, again, it doesn't have a map screen. The whole point of the world is just you going from point to point. In that way, it's very similar to games like Mafia, where it's technically an open world game with like a big world to go in, but generally you're playing it as a linear title, right? And I'm not even opposed to that. I think it's actually kind of cool when certain games do it because it makes you feel like you're playing in this grand storyline, even though like, you know, you're just kind of going from like level to level to level. And I have no issues with linearity in games. What I do, however, have an issue with is the boring gameplay that it provides. So when you're actually not driving in the game, you're shooting people, and the shooting is actually like boring. I'm actually getting sick thinking of I'm actually kind of allergic to the boring gameplay because basically you get access to a whole bunch of weapons. It's got the same weapon wheel as GTA. The weapons themselves are just your standard like assault rifle, your SMG, your shotgun, which by the way has like the range of like an armless boxer. Like literally it is the most useless gun in the game. And the game gives you such little ammunition because you're constantly scavenging for it that realistically the only gun you're ever really gonna need is the basic pistol with like unlimited ammunition. It's got a 15 round magazine, and as long as you just shoot everything in the head, you're pretty much good. The AI itself isn't really anything to write home about. It's literally AI that even Gears of War 2 from the 360 days superseded. Like, yes, they will try to flank you. But again, this is something I've seen back in Gears of War anyways. So if we're going to be blowing our... Actually, you know what? I've seen this level of AI probably in games like GTA 4. I've probably seen this in other shooters. So it's not really mind-boggling to me, okay? But yeah, the shooting is there. You constantly get into these firefights with enemies. The driving itself is surprisingly better than I expected. Usually when I play an open world game, the driving is like the hit or miss side of things, right? Like sometimes every car just feels the same. Or sometimes it's like they've got that GTA like rip-off mode on lock because every car just feels fun to really go into. This game's immersiveness, however, is so mind-boggling that even when you're like, you know, trying to drive, right, or you're trying to do anything, like you can shoot a guy in the head and literally nobody responds. I'm surprised Leslie Benzies, okay, didn't decide to look at this game and think, you know what, maybe I should have put effort into making this more immersive. This is not a big open world like GTA. This is a linear game. A linear game typically means that you probably have more like thought put into placing like, you know, NPCs, things in the environment, like the stuff that you're supposed to see. And generally speaking, even if like you're not making a full open world, at least make the NPCs react to when somebody gets shot in the head. But it's not that you can just shoot someone in the head, right? You can shoot someone in the face, but suddenly, as far as my playthrough went, you can't steal a car. Like, make it fucking make any sense. Now, as I was playing this game, it's a very single-player experience, and there's no open world option at all. Like, we're literally talking like 2.5 hours into the game, and I have not seen an open world. So I can't confirm if this game has like a wanted system or anything of that nature. Like, there literally is not even that aspect. Like, if you wanted to go into the streets of Vegas and just start getting into gunfights with cops, I don't even think that's a thing in the actual game. But yeah, when it comes to the actual gameplay, like, the vehicle driving is okay. The chase sequences are kind of cool. When you're getting chased, it's, you know, as long as you're not a total knobhead at shooting enemies, you'll be just fine. Playing this game on hard difficulty, medium, or easy really doesn't even matter, because I think to die in this game, you have to actually be dead in real life. Like, there's just no way you're dying in this fucking game. It's that easy. But one thing that I did notice when I actually purposefully died was that it has these Call of Duty quotes. You know, this is why I say it's like a 2010, 2011 game. Even Call of Duty, from my understanding, I don't even think it does quotes anymore when you die in the single player. This game does it, though. You die in the game, and it throws a quote on the screen. It's like you're back in 2011, bro. You can't even make it up. And I just want to put out the fact that there's like these QuickTime moments where I swear to God, some of the goofiest shit you'll do is like administer CPR in this game. Stuff that you really just don't even expect. And these are like the only times where the game like changes between either like driving after someone or shooting, right? Like it's somehow more formulaic. Every mission here is way more formulaic than like even a GTA mission. Like at least there's a lot of well done transitions, right? There's good cutscene quality. The cutscene quality here that's been billed as like, you know, like a cinematic benchmark is on par with like GTA 5. Even then, GTA 5 I think does a better job cinematically too. It's funny because like even when you look at the cover art for this game, it's so genuinely uninspired that I swear I think this is from like a movie. I think it's from like Tenet or something. Like they just straight up copied everything they can on this game. Now, one of the only unique things about this experience is that they have these things called portals. So at some random point in the game, you'll just see these portals that show up. And I'm not going to spoil the stupid story reason. It's such a dumb reason that I want you to experience it for yourself if you can. You can go into these portals and you basically can just do side content. So races, drone races, some shootouts, and they have this thing called Build Mind's Eye. So if you're like a PC gamer, you can like put things together in like a level editor, basically. Now they say it's kind of like letting everyone develop a game in a way, but really it's just the Far Cry like level editor. And they're kind of branding it as like something new. It's really not that crazy impressive. Now again, to go back to the actual gameplay over here too, there's really not much else you're doing between shooting in like these like doing these like corridor shootouts or driving in between said corridor shootouts. That's effectively all of Mind's Eye. And you know what? The actual story and the voice acting in it feels so 2011, 2012 that even just the maturity of the writing, right? Like I'm going to be upfront and just say, I think Saints Row, the remake, like the latest Saints Row, might have been a better written game or a less predictably written game than Mind's Eye, okay? Because like this is just, you can actually, if you've watched any like sci-fi movie in the night, shit, I think if you watch like even just Terminator 2 like in the last 6 months, I'm pretty sure you can just predict the dialogue that's gonna be said next by the characters, right? But yeah, other than that, there's like no other charm to this game. For 60 like full US dollars, I believe, you're not getting anything other than what appears to be, and I've read, it's like a 15 to 20 hour campaign. There's no multiplayer. There doesn't seem to be like crazy horde modes or anything of that nature. In fact, they have like this seasonal release drop thing going for this game, and I'll bring it up really quickly here. So yeah, here's their roadmap. On launch, we get single-player free roam. Ooh! Wow, you even get to drive in the open world that's there? Woo! And then, of course, they got some random stuff, like you got some horde mode maybe here. You've got some combat missions. And then in the summer, they're going to have like a special collaboration. Maybe it'll be with Adam and Eve. I don't know, because the game's fucking the players already anyways. Community updates, you've got some new missions, and when I see the developers say new missions here, I wonder how many of them are going to be like slopped together missions that are already in the base game anyways, okay? I don't think they're going to have the same level of quality that I'm seeing. You know, you've got new single player modes, multiplayer in the fall, and then of course you've got a major adventure coming in winter, which I actually think might be content worth actually getting into. Now, when it came to like the only bit of advertising that I've actually ever seen in this game, it's probably on like Reddit, I shit you not, where it was like, they were on like all these like boards and they were just saying, uncover your truth in a world ruled by AI, dark experiments, and military control. Yeah, honestly, like so far, the story feels like it's probably written by ChatGPT, so maybe it is a really good story by an AI, if an AI seems to have written it. And of course, you can see that they've got these articles where it's like, Mind's Eye could be the perfect game to ease the wait for GTA 6. No. You know what? You know it's a great game you can play right now instead of this? It would probably cost you way less. Watch Dogs 2. It's a Ubisoft game, I know. But it's a really goddamn good Ubi game, okay? If you're gonna play the slop, you might as well play that good slop. Just before the actual release of this game, there was apparently two big individuals, their CFO and their chief legal officer, actually leaving the company. So for instance, like a week ago, the studio executives actually left before the debut. So again, I don't know why this necessarily happens, but I don't think it's good when the finance officer and the legal officer, especially chief of this company, are just gone after this happens. Now granted, even the legal officer over here said, yeah, it's their time has come to a close. I'm proud of what we accomplished. But during that time, they doubled the size of the company to 450 employees. They built the legal teams, legal operations, yada, 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 yada. So honestly, it's a pretty good message to come out over here, but it makes me wonder why actual C-suite individuals are leaving. And if you have a better if there are people in the industry that can give a rational answer to this, I'll be more than willing to listen. But it's never a good thing to see. And then of course, when you start going further into it, there was talks on places like NeoGAF, where apparently the company was accused of a toxic work environment. Now remember, toxic work environments, and if you compared to like Rockstar Games, these are things you probably have heard of, right? But for instance, according to this thread, one employee blames Build a Rocket Boy fostered a culture dominated by blame, fear, and bullying, particularly towards younger or less experienced staff who are often scapegoated for mismanagement's poor decisions. They claim only those who unquestioningly follow orders and flatter senior leadership are safe, while others are pushed out. The sudden departure of the entire executive team within a year is described as chaotic, with replacements lacking expertise. HR is portrayed as a threatening force when in a company they really shouldn't be. One employee refers to the company as a dysfunctional hierarchy where the upper management, described as entitled and incompetent, consistently fail upwards, while the hard work of talented employees goes unrewarded. And that's pretty f***ing rough. So of course, when you go to the Glassdoor reviews for Build a Rocket Boy, right? Some people write where fear stalks your every move. This guy gives it a 1 star. Some people give it a 5 star. One person says 1 star, there is nothing positive over here. From one of the Glassdoors that I saw a post, and I think this came from Game Roll. He's writing, the CEO made one of the biggest revenue generators of all time in 2013, GTA 5. It's safe to say that games have moved on since. However, the methodology of I am always right, and you will cater for that audience of one, has not. The CEO simply does not process anyone's view other than his own and frantic. Last-minute feedback, abject panic from investors, it results in delayed decision-making as some of the things requested simply can't be implemented. Or if they are implemented, they're incomplete, inaccurate, or simply not good enough because they have not had the time or care required. There are so many talented and skilled people at Build a Rocket Boy who have their work scrubbed, neutered, or radically altered due to a last-minute change. These late changes continually blight releases and demonstration. This might have been how games were made in a crunch environment with unlimited resources a decade ago. It is not how they are made now. So, and I think it comes across in this game too, because when you play Mind's Eye, it really doesn't feel like a game that has gone through a polishing phase. It really does feel like a game that is genuinely stuck. I'm not even going to say 2013. I will just say 2010, 2011, maybe 2009. Okay, it really feels like a Xbox 360, PS3 game that just kind of was pushed out the door with no fanfare whatsoever. And I really do think that with the influencers and with especially game reviewers not even getting any codes, I really feel like they kind of released it somewhat a little later in the day than usual, from my understanding, to just get past a lot of the initial videos. They just want people jumping in to buy the slop. Well, I'm going to tell you, you shouldn't be buying the slop. This game is genuinely Not a game worth $60, okay? I spent my $60 on it, and to be honest with you, a big catalyst for me making this video is not just only educating you, but trying to somewhat get that fucking money back that I gave this company. Now, the thing about this, and ultimately, is it's the only way that I could ever recommend, Mind's Eye, is if you're the kind of gamer that just is my age and you're like, man, I really want to go back to 2010, 2011 and play a game that has just never aged past that point, this is the best game for you, man. But if you're somebody that's like, man, I only have $60, do I buy this or shit, Madden? I would go out and buy fucking Madden if that was your only two options, okay, God forbid. I'd probably recommend you buy Madden. Because at least Madden probably has less maddening gameplay than this nonsense. And the thing about it going forward, too, is obviously I don't think this game is going to succeed all that well. Like, it doesn't seem like anybody's picking it up, other than those that are, like, morbidly curious, because it's literally like looking at a car crash at this point. Yeah, it's certainly the most... It's the best way to put it, too, is like... You know when you go on an airplane and they give you the Biscoff cookie? Like, it's not enough to fill you, but, you know, sometimes it can be comforting. It reminds you of a different time, but it's just a goddamn cookie. There's not much to it, and you probably would have enjoyed the meal anyways, especially considering the cost you paid to fly. Yeah, that's what it is. That's this game. It's the Biscoff cookie of video games. It's the gravy trained dog food of video games. It's the hungry man of a video game. It's got the components. It's not necessarily that enjoyable, but yeah. Probably best that you spend your money somewhere else. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's Mind's Eye, and I'll probably end up actually finishing like at this point. I'm actually committed now. But yeah, if I were you, I'd drastically wait if this was on sale. This game reminds me of, like, man, back in the day, I wish Blockbuster still existed. Or this should have been on Game Pass or something, like a subscription service, because it's like the weekend rental game. This is not the game that you recommend you buy. If you genuinely, like, hate somebody, like, if you just broke up with somebody who also video games, recommend this title to them, okay? It's like, these are the only recommendations I can give. But yeah, if you want to play something that's kind of similar to this, maybe pick up, like, not similar, but, like, pick up, like, anything else. I mean, Watch Dogs 2, like I said, probably pick that shit up for less than $20. And I guarantee you, it'll be a far more interesting experience than this. Only buy this if you are really morbidly curious at a game that has not aged past 2011. I am out.